Right, evening, everybody.
Evening.
Evening.
Right, first of all, I apologise for anyone for last week. Obviously, you can see I've been injured because of an accident. So we brought last week's one forward to this week. So, right, I think Ian ain't gone first for a while.
Yep.
So I think we'll let Ian go first.
If I can get me photos up. Why is that? Cancel that.
Oh, apparently there's lightning only 7 miles away from me.
I don't
think it's far away from me because the whole heavens just opened up. Like the delivery driver had his wipers on full blast and he still had to pull over and stop because he couldn't see.
Bloody hell.
But the sun's out again now, so.
Yeah. This is the Arizona Shadow Train. It's, as it says, from Arizona.
Right name on the tower.
It's a legend from Arizona in which an old prospector found himself lost with no water out in the desert flats while searching for a claim. The sun got so hot and everything, he ultimately passed out from the heat and sun. He woke up to find an unanointed, woke up sometime later, he's no idea how long, to the hissing of a steam train chugging through the torrid air.
Nice.
Mine was confused.
I've just noticed, have you seen, like, I don't know if it's a company logo or what, that's on that water tower?
That's why I said I like the name on the tower.
Oh, yes. Right, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry about that. I didn't hear Lynn say it, and I only just noticed that. So, sorry, go on, carry on.
Yeah, the miner, he was confused. He's far away from any town. But then he remembers hearing stories when he was a young lad of a shadow train that rushes through the desert with no track, like a black smear across a cloudless sky. As the train speeds towards where he lies, he's too weak to move despite the train's warning whistles. The miner realises these stories were no legend. The train stops inches from his head and the conductor and passenger carry me on board before he passes out again. He reawakened in a sheriff's office in a town he didn't know, being offered water by the lawman, who said he found a miner lying almost 5 miles out of town. When he asks if the train had left him there, the confused sheriff tells him that there's no trains that run through that area. To this day, people claim that they see the shadow train screaming through the midday sun out of the desert, still without any track.
That's awesome. Now, had there ever been a track there?
No.
Probably not.
Oh, that's weird.
But the legend continues. It is, I mean, he's the most known story, but people do talk about that.
Got to take this off for a little while.
That train.
This gets a bit too much after a little while, this brace.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. So people are claiming to see a train in an area that has never been.
Never had one.
Never had one.
That's cool.
I'm wondering
the fact that it's not one of those that is a scary one. It turned up to actually save him.
Yeah.
See, now I'm wondering if there's never ever been a train track or anything there, but I'm wondering if at some point they had made talks of putting train tracks and all that through there that didn't go through, but the thought, almost like a Tolpa effect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's possible with something like with people and animals. Allegedly, it's true, but could that be possible within animate objects like a train?
Or like many ghost stories where there's a coach and six sent to collect you when you die,
Yeah.
maybe they just upgraded with the tech.
Yeah, possibly.
Possibly. He may have led a good life, and they thought, "Sonic, you're having a first class ticket for a change."
Yeah.
So, well, that's an interesting one.
The
That's
Polar Express is way off course.
just slightly, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's an interesting one. I'm not
Mhm.
sure what to think of that.
It is a strange one. That, like I say, if it was just a one-off thing, I mean, he was obviously a one-off, but other people claim to have seen the train.
Yeah.
See, that's what makes it even more interesting that other people have claimed it.
Mm-hmm.
See, obviously, to some degree, there could be the thing of, I heard this story about this train once. Get a bit of attention. I'll say I saw it, but then there could be situations that people have genuinely seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, there are, you know yourself, you get mirages and the like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're suffering with heat stroke. You're suffering. But for him to be miles from any town or anything, and then he's picked up only 5 miles outside of the town.
Yeah.
He was miles away from any.
I'm wondering if he was like dehydrated and that close to death, and it went through his mind, God, if I had a train, I could get to safety somehow.
Possibly.
And that's why I was thinking like the Tulpa sort of effect.
Yeah, possibly.
And that was just enough to give him that little bit of strength to get the last few miles to the town.
Throw another bit of disbelief in. Our neighbours passing by in a craft. Well, we can't show ourselves as a spaceship, but we could pretend we're a train because they exist. He knows what they are.
You'll have to ask Ian Easy.
So
you'll have to ask Ian Easy expert on that sort of thing.
Well, they were paid as themselves so many times. Why bother as a train to someone who's obviously
probably going to be hallucinating, so it didn't matter.
I'd debunk that one.
And to answer Cole's comment, I'm getting there. That's the easiest way to say it. It's just, unfortunately, it's been raining. I was slowing down it's one of them bridges that you have to give way one side and the other side's got the right of way. And there was an idiot coming over it. They knew it was their right of way, which in fairness it was. So I had to slow down. I was hitting the back brake, it hit an oil slick, and shit happens, unfortunately. That's just unfortunately the way life goes. I will say, though, that helmet I had was a lifesaver. Because I hit my head a couple of times. But anyway.
Well, we knew that from prior experience.
I was going to say, you midwife drop you on your head, is it at birth?
Twice.
Well, that was she slapped me dad, not me, when I was born.
I can't complain though. That's 2 motorbike accidents in 6 years, and I honestly think when I broke my ribs in the last accident, it was less painful than this is.
Yeah,
I honestly do.
Yeah, you can strap ribs up.
Physio will tell you breaking a bone is a lot less painful than knackering ligaments and tendons.
Yeah.
Voice of experience. I broke my wrist, and within 2 weeks it was fine. Yeah. Whereas I'm constantly on painkillers for the other stuff.
I said to Hyde, because I had the shingles about 5 or 6 years ago as well, I would honestly have the broken ribs and the shingles at the same time than this at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how, and shingles is, well, I won't say it.
I had that too.
I think we'll go anti-clockwise, so we'll jump over to Uncle Joe.
All right, let me put up a couple of pictures.
Yeah.
This is a historical train that actually ran and did its thing. Come on, picture. There you go. Another picture.
Ooh,
Oh, yes.
what a beautiful
Yes.
machine.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That's
It
stunningly
is.
beautiful.
This is Abraham Lincoln's train after the funeral, of course, or on the way to the funeral.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's the Lincoln Special. Carried the assassinated president's body from Washington, D.C. to Springfield, Illinois in 1865. It's become the
There we
subject
go.
of one of America's most enduring ghost train legends. After Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth on April 14th in 1865,
Allegedly.
and he died the next
Allegedly.
morning. What's that?
Allegedly shot by John Wilkes Booth.
Okay, you can do that. And died the next morning. The nation mourned deeply. His body, along with that of his son Willie Lincoln, who had died in 1862, traveled in a carefully planned 1,654-mile route over 13 days. The train stopped in major cities for public viewings, allowing hundreds of thousands of people to pay their respects. The train featured a locomotive, often identified as the Nashville, decorated with a portrait of Anna Reeve, cars draped in black crepe and bunting, the special hearse car for the coffins.
Is that what
And
this
honor
one is, though? Is
What's
that
that?
the hearse car? Is that the hearse car?
I think so. Let me look. Yeah, that's the hearse car there.
They don't build things like that nowadays, do they?
No,
No,
all sorts of styles. Everything just went away. Everything today has got to be sleek and ugly.
Yeah.
Mary Todd Lincoln did not travel with the train, and the journey
Really?
symbolized national grief in the aftermath of the Civil War. The haunted part of the legend, soon after the real journey, stories emerged of a spectral reenactment of the funeral train appearing along the original route, especially around the anniversary in mid to late April. Reports date back to at least the 1870s. With the ghost train, a ghostly black train emerged from the fog or the mist, draped in black crepe with dim, pale yellow funeral lights, hollow and awful sounds, a cold, clammy wind or atmosphere. And the crew and passengers described as skeletal or bony, shadowy type figures. Lincoln's flag-draped coffin, sometimes guarded by spectral Union soldiers, come injured or carrying their own coffins. And it appears insubstantial. People say you can walk or throw something through it, but it looks perfectly detailed otherwise. It was at Hudson River Railroad in New York. It was detailed in an 1879 newspaper account of trackmen seeing the train rush by on the anniversary. Hyde Park, New York, a historical marker notes the ghost train often seen on April 25th with clouds obscuring the moon and black carpet silencing the tracks. That's interesting. But basically, it's just a ghost train that goes the same route or pops up in different spots along the same route that the original train had taken. So I thought that was kind of
Now,
interesting.
something like that would be, because obviously a lot of people mourned Lincoln.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the nation mourned.
Yeah.
I mean, the northern half of the
that
Mason-Dixon line up.
I think that would definitely bring on residual hauntings.
Yes.
So that would make a lot of sense.
Isn't there a legend with it as well that when it appears, clocks and watches stop?
I've read that in another article. Yeah, that has been mentioned.
Until they stop until the train disappears.
Are they the original colours?
Yeah, that's what the train looked like there originally. Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing the ghostly image, like the ghostly image of that, a residual image of that? That would be breathtaking.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a WTF moment, but
I'm loving the massive lantern at the top at the front.
Yeah. That is, I mean, it's a beautiful train. Beautiful.
As Perry says, that is a rather spectacular cattle flinger.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That is. That's a good find, that one, Joe.
Yeah, I've heard that story of the Lincoln special, the Lincoln train, for years and years and years and years, and I figured that'd be a good one for me to start off with this time.
That is an absolute blinder of a start, Joe. Right, if I go next, because Linda's got a story to tell, so I want to get comfortable so I can listen to Linda's story in a minute. So I'm going to get mine out of the way first, because Linda's last one, the
Black Eyed Kids one. Yeah,
this is
a bit of a chunk longer.
Right, so if I bring that image up, right, the first thing I've done with my research, ironically, I was doing that same day I had my bloody accident, ready for the night.
Was it a railway bridge you went over? Was it?
No, over a river. So. Apparently, since 1995, the Paranormal Database has kept an extensive documented record of haunted train stations across the United Kingdom, with 14,000 documented reports since 1995. So that's quite an impressive number. So I will admit let's put this back on. Sorry. I will admit I do quite often use Paranormal Database, like when I lived in Leiston and when I lived in the village where Heidi is, and like when I've been here, because it's got some really interesting information about UFO reports, alleged UFO reports, cryptid reports, ghostly haunted areas, and I'm determined to get back on that bike because I want to go to the graveyard where Matthew Hopkins is buried. So
spit on him for me.
Well, no, everyone knows where the graveyard is, but nobody knows where the actual grave
where
is.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. So
you spit on all of them. see whether you get any reaction.
The one that's watching, Perry or Cole, I did do before I got injured. I did actually manage to get 2 investigations in for the first time since my heart attack. The second one was interesting because there's questions I was like, I don't believe in their maps, but I was asking questions and I was getting responses that matched.
Perry was going to be contacting you about your app because he would like to have a play about with it, with the stuff that him and his pals do.
Yeah, just join. Just add me on Facebook, Perry. It's fine. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. No problems. I need to do. I ain't done no work on it for a little while, but and also Perry did comment on the first investigation I did. Also on the second one, I managed to get an EVP as well. And that was in a graveyard. And as Ian said, you'll get locations you don't hear nothing about whatsoever. But I got an EVP response. So, just send me a friend invite, Perry, and I'll send you the link. Right, anyway. So we'll go here.
Ooh.
This magnificent building.
That looks familiar.
That is the Carlisle Citadel.
Yeah, that's why it looks familiar.
Yeah.
And
we briefly
1887 or something like that.
I've only been through the underneath where the trains are.
I think it was 1887. I'm not sure if I wrote it down or not.
It's 1800s or something.
Yeah, it's definitely 1800s. Yeah. Right, Carlisle Citadel is a Grade 2 listed station on the main line, approximately 102 miles from Glasgow. Neo-Tudor style. It was designed by William Tite and opened in 1847. So he was close. It's built out of sandstone.
1800s.
Yeah, he's right. The land it sits on, locals since Victorian times have called it the Fever Pit. Beneath the station runs for 3 acres an undercroft. So that's some size, that undercroft. Tunnel
name like the Fever Pit. I think I know where you're going with that.
Where was I? Right.
Sounds like a student dive.
Make me laugh, please.
Sorry.
Tunnels, rooms, and staff quarters are in the undercroft. The undercroft once stored paraffin, staff sleeping area, and butchery. And apparently the hooks are still in the ceiling nowadays. The ghostly reports span over 80 years and have been reported regularly in newspapers in the area as well. Sightings include a headless man on platform 8, a veiled woman walking the corridors of the Undercroft, a shadow figure who points towards the tunnels below the station, then vanishes, and a child with a dog. Stuart Davidson, who served as customer experience manager in the 1960s, gave a sworn testimony. He described 2 men's faces and a boy with a dog standing in a red mist in the Undercroft. He described hearing voices in areas that he knew for a fact nobody was in and being repeatedly kicked by something invisible. Station manager Sue Howarth confirmed seeing multiple apparitions to Darren Ritson, author of Haunted Carlisle. She listed the exact entities she had seen, which were all the same. The boy with the dog, a shadowy figure on the platform she witnessed during a snow blizzard, as well as the headless man and a veiled woman. Virgin Trains even hired Barry Guy to officially investigate it.
Cool.
Back in the day. And obviously Barry Guy is, I've never actually personally spoken to him, but he's a very well-known investigator, isn't he? So what are your thoughts on that? I've got a few pictures of it. I've got some pictures of the Undercroft as well.
Well, the Undercroft is also, according to local law, where they used it as a temporary morgue.
Oh, okay.
For 1915 rail disaster, which is the deadliest rail crash in UK history. The bodies were stored in the Undercroft. So that could well explain why there's so much activity.
When he said fever pit, I thought he was going to be going on about underneath was used as a cholera pit or a plague pit or something like that.
When I was researching it and I heard that mentioned, I thought exactly the same thing, or I thought maybe formerly like a plague pit or something, but no, it wasn't mentioned.
Because I know there's some potential new tunnels. I think it was the London Tube that had to be abandoned because they literally were going after.
Anyone else getting a feeling off that photo?
I don't like that image.
There's somebody stood in the doorway. There's somebody stood in the doorway.
Yes.
The hairs on the we can't see.
And the first pillar on the left, if you look at the right-hand side of the first pillar on the left, that's almost the shadow of somebody wearing a flat, like an engine driver's cap.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the side profile, the way that shadow's sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is
more drawn to the bottom end. There's something decidedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whatever it is on the right, presumably the person who's holding the torch, I'm actually seeing 5 or 6 people huddled up together there.
I am too. Seeing at least a few people.
Yeah.
If you look at that the furthest pillar there, just to the left of it there looks to be something against the wall there as well.
Yeah, with white sleeves and like a waistcoat.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah,
it's a busy corridor.
That is full.
Yeah.
When I researched it, I saw that image. I thought I've got to get that because that doesn't give me the most comfort. That image.
No, not at all.
I think have I got any others? I'm not sure if I post this one. I think it was. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting a bit tender at the moment. Oh no, I have. Sorry, I thought I had another image to share, but I just realised now I've loaded it. It's the same one. But yeah, it's. I would love to go wandering.
Yeah,
I would absolutely love to go wandering. So. And that
feels a little bit nicer, but it's still you'd be saying "excuse me" all the way up the corridor.
Yeah,
because you're going in between folk.
Yeah, I did try. Are they tracks on the floor? There,
it looks like
the
it.
floor is.
Let me do my old lady impersonation. This is going to give you all a laugh. A pair of glasses over a pair of glasses.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an actual track or if that's just like a runner where they used to push things.
It might just be like a
It looks like
a gurney track.
it looks like cover of a pit.
Possibly.
Oh yeah.
I was looking for images of that. They got hooks and things still there from the 1800s. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any of those. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on that place?
Yeah.
With
have you seen the folk?
in there?
Yeah.
So
there's definitely something going on in that place.
With everything that's gone on, I mean, the butchery alone, I know it sounds stupid because it's a natural process that's been going on as long as there's humans. Blood holds energy. Whether it's a chicken, a pig, or a person, it holds energy. So even if there wasn't a big horror story to go with it, there may well be there's something in here feeling just because of the blood being absorbed into the building and the floor.
Yeah.
Blood's got iron.
Now, technically, we should go to Linda, but because she's got the hair and she's always got the good stories, I don't know if we should make her wait. And that colour really suits you, actually, Lynn.
Pink
Yes.
It's not. You know what colour it actually is. The flash on the bottle is that colour.
Yeah, that's not that colour.
It's because the rest of my hair is kind of chocolatey. It's kind of gone auburn. I really like it.
Yeah,
than I thought
it would be good.
Those look good. Yeah. Still jealous.
What do you think of mine? Pretty nice, huh?
I think yours would be amazing. All these highlights,
so long you can't see your face.
all these highlights with me are just all my. I was sick of seeing this, and this side of my head just looks white on camera. That's why I did it, because I was starting to look, like
This is white.
Yeah.
Right here too.
Like, like that thing where some of them are doing the 2-color dye thing.
Oh yeah.
It was starting to look like that when I looked at myself on camera, and I'm like, I've got to put a color on that and try and blend the two sides together. I don't want to look like a 50-50 bar, as they say in the Close Encounters movie.
Yeah.
Well, my hair used to be blonde. My beard and everything was red. And when I started going grey, I got 2 perfect circles there.
My mum started with the dot cotton flash, and I think that's what this is on me as well. It's the dot cotton flash,
the Malin flash.
In my paternal side of the family, every man's got the same thing. Literally here, these bits don't join up. No matter what you do, they will not join up. And every single male in the family has got a bald spot here. And exactly the same spot. They just will not grow.
Most of the 2 generations below me in the family.
Yeah.
When you look, if you were to ever see the back of my neck, on one side the hairline dips 2 inches lower than the other, and all the females in the 2 generations that have come after me have the same thing. But nobody before me has it, and none of them are my kids, so I don't get
She's a witch. She's a witch.
But as he is saying about the rope, there is that song "Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley," and my father was called Tom Dooley, so hopefully he's burning by now. Right, I'm going to briefly go off camera because I need to take some more paracetamol, and we'll listen to Linda's story. So we'll leave it to you, Linda.
Okay. So get comfy, get the snacks, get the drinks. This is longer than I would normally do, but it's one of my favourite ghost stories. And
I've got my Coke and my jelly baby, so I'm ready.
And it's to do with trains and railway stations and things like that. So this was written between 1812 and 1870 by Charles Dickens. And I know Colin's going to say, I recognise that because I made him watch the movie. So I'm just going to go straight into it, okay? Hello, below there! When he heard a voice thus calling to him, he was standing at the door of his box, with a flag in his hand, furled round its short pole. One would have thought, considering the nature of the ground, that he could not have doubted from what quarter the voice came. But instead of looking up to where I stood on the top of the steep cutting nearly over his head, he turned himself about and looked down the line. There was something remarkable in his manner of doing so, though I could not have said for my life what, but I know it was remarkable enough to attract my notice. Even though his figure was foreshortened and shadowed down in the deep trench, and mine was high above him, so steeped in the glow of an angry sunset that I had shaded my eyes with my hand before I saw him at all. Hello, below there! From looking down the line, he turned himself about again, and, raising his eyes, saw my figure high above him. Is there any path by which I can come down and speak to you? He looked up at me without replying, and I looked down at him without pressing him too soon with a repetition of my idle question. Just then, there came a vague vibration in the earth and air, quickly changing into a violent pulsation, an oncoming rush that caused me to start back as though it almost had the force to draw me down. When such vapour as rose to my height from this rapid train had passed me and was skimming away over the landscape, I looked down again and saw him refurling his flag he had shown while the train went by. I repeated my inquiry. After a pause, during which he seemed to regard me with fixed attention, he motioned with his rolled-up flag towards a point on my level, some 200 or 300 yards distant. I called down to him, "All right," and made for that point. There, by dint of looking closely about me, I found a rough zigzag descending path notched out, which I followed. The cutting was extremely deep and unusually precipitate. It was made through a clammy stone that became oozier and wetter as I went down. For these reasons, I found the way long enough to give me time to recall a singular air of reluctance or compulsion with which he had pointed out the path. When I came down low enough upon the zigzag descent to see him again, I saw that he was standing between the rails on the way by the train had lately passed, in an attitude as if he were waiting for me to appear. He had his left hand at his chin, and the left elbow rested on his right hand, crossed over his breast. His attitude was one of such expectation and watchfulness that I stopped a moment, wondering at it. I resumed my downward way, and stepping out upon the level of the railroad and drawing nearer to him, saw that he was a dark, sallow man with a dark beard and rather heavy eyebrows. His post was in as solitary and dismal a place as ever I saw. On either side, a dripping wet wall of jagged stone, excluding all view but a strip of sky. The perspective one way, only a crooked prolongation of this great dungeon. The shorter perspective, in the other direction, terminating in a gloomy red light, and the gloomier entrance to a black tunnel, in whose massive architecture there was a barbarous, depressing, and forbidding air. So little sunlight ever found its way to this spot that it had an earthy, deadly smell, and so much cold wind rushed through it that it struck chill to me, as if I had left the natural world. And I've just remembered I never put my photos in for you.
Yeah, That's just dawned on me. Yeah.
So I'll put a few in. So this is your chance to refill the glasses, etc., etc. And you can interchange through these as and when you require. And I'm sure there was another. Where did it go?
I like that one.
That one. So, are we sitting comfortably?
Oh, yeah. Comfortably as I can do.
Before he stirred, I was near enough to him to have touched him. Not even then, removing his eyes from mine, he stepped back one step and lifted his hand. This was a lonesome post to occupy, I said, and it had riveted my attention when I looked down from up yonder. A visitor was a rarity, I should suppose. Not an unwelcome rarity, I hope. In me, he merely saw a man who had been shut up within narrow limits all his life, and who, being at last set free, had a newly awakened interest in these great works. To such purpose, I spoke to him, but I am far from sure of the terms I used, for besides that, I am not happy in opening any conversation. There was something in the man that daunted me. He directed a most curious look towards the red light near the tunnel's mouth, and looked all about it, as if something were missing from it, then looked at me. That light was part of his charge, was it not? He answered in a low voice, "Don't you know it is?" The monstrous thought came into my mind as I perused the fixed eyes and the saturnine face, that this was a spirit, not a man. I have speculated since whether there may have been infection in his mind. In my turn, I stepped back, but in making the action, I detected in his eyes some latent fear of me. This put the monstrous thought to flight. "You look at me," I said, forcing a smile, "as if you had a dread of me." "I was doubtful," he returned, "whether I had seen you before." "Oh, where?" He pointed to the red light he had looked at. "There?" I said. Intently watchful of me, he replied, but without a sound, "Yes." "My good fellow, what should I do there? However, be that as it may, I never was there. You may swear upon it." "I think I may," he rejoined. "Yes, I'm sure I may." His manner cleared, like my own. He replied to my remarks with readiness and in well-chosen words. Had he much to do there? Yes, that was to say he had enough responsibility to bear, but exactness and watchfulness were what was required of him. And of actual work, manual labour, he had next to none. To change that signal, to trim those lights, and to turn this iron handle now and then, was all he had to do under that head. Regarding those many long and lonely hours of which I seemed to make so much, he could only say that the routine of his life had shaped itself into that form, and he had grown used to it. He had taught himself a language down here, but if only to know it by sight and to have formed his own crude ideas of its pronunciation could be called learning it. He had also worked at fractions and decimals and tried a little algebra, but he was, and had been as a boy, a poor hand at figures. Was it necessary for him when on duty always to remain in that channel of damp air? Could he never rise to the sunshine between those high stone walls? Why, that depended on times and circumstances. Under some conditions, there would be less upon the line than others, and some held good as to certain hours of the day and night. In bright weather, he did choose occasions for getting a little above these lower shadows, but being at all times liable to be called by his electric bell, and at such times listening for it with redoubled anxiety, the relief was less than I would suppose. He took me into his box where there was a fire, a desk for an official book in which he had to make certain entries, a telegraphic instrument with its dial, face, and needles, and the little bell of which he had spoken. On my trusting that he would excuse the remark that he had been well educated, and I hoped I might say it without offence, perhaps educated above that station, he observed instances of slight incongruity in such wise would rarely be found wanting among large bodies of men, that he had heard it was so in the workhouses, in the police force, even in that last desperate resource, the army, and that he knew it was so, more or less, in any great railway staff. He had been, when young, if I could believe it, sitting in that hut, he scarcely could, a student of natural philosophy, and had attended lectures, but he had run wild, misused his opportunities, gone down and never risen again. He had no complaint to offer about that. He made his bed and he lay upon it. It was far too late to make another. All that I have here condensed, he said in a quiet manner, with his grave, dark regards divided between me and the fire. He threw in the word "sir" from time to time, and especially when he referred to his youth, as though to request me to understand that he claimed to be nothing but what I found him. He was several times interrupted by the little bell and had to read off messages and send replies. Once he had to stand without the door and display a flag as a train passed and make some verbal communication to the driver. In the discharge of his duties, I observed him to be remarkably exact and vigilant, breaking off his discourse at a single syllable and remaining silent until what he had to do was done. In a word, I should have set this man down as one of the safest of men to be employed in that capacity. But for the circumstance that while he was speaking to me, he twice broke off with a falling colour, turned his face towards the little bell when it did not ring, opened the door of the hut, which was kept shut to exclude the unhealthy damp, and looked out towards the red light near the mouth of the tunnel. On both of those occasions, he came back to the fire with the inexplicable air upon him, which I had remarked without being able to define, when we were so far asunder. Said I, when I rose to leave him, "You almost make me think that I have met with a contented man." I am afraid I must acknowledge that I said it to lead him on. "I believe I used to be so," he rejoined in the low voice in which he had first spoken. "But I am troubled, sir. I am troubled." He would have recalled the words if he could. He had said them, however, and I took them up quickly. "With what? What is your trouble?" "It is very difficult to impart, sir. It is very, very difficult to speak of. If ever you make me another visit, I will try to tell you." "But I expressly intend to make you another visit, say. When shall it be?" "I go off early in the morning, and I shall be on again at 10 tomorrow night, sir." "I will come at 11. He thanked me and went out at the door with me. "I'll show my white light, sir," he said, in his peculiar low voice, "till you have found the way up. When you have found it, don't call out. And when you are at the top, don't call out." His manner seemed to make the place strike colder to me, but I said no more than "Very well," and When you come down tomorrow night, don't call out. Let me ask you a parting question. What made you cry, "Hello, below there," tonight? Heaven knows, said I. I cried something to that effect. Not to that effect, sir. Those were the very words. I know them well. Admit those were the very words. I said them, no doubt, because I saw you below. For no other reason. What other reason could I possibly have? You had no feeling that they were conveyed to you in any supernatural way? No. He wished me good night and held up his light. I walked by the side of the down line of rails with a very disagreeable sensation of a train coming behind me until I found the path. It was easier to mount than to descend, and I got back to my inn without any adventure. Punctual to my appointment, I placed my foot on the first notch of the zigzag next night as the distant clocks were striking 11. He was waiting for me at the bottom with his white light on. I have not called out, I said, when he came close together. May I speak now? By all means, sir. Good night, then, and here's my hand. Good night, sir, and here's mine. With that, we walked side by side to his box, entered it, closed the door, and sat down by the fire. I have made up my mind, sir, he began, bending forward as soon as we were seated, and speaking in a tone but a little above a whisper, that you shall not have to ask me twice what troubles me. I took you for someone else yesterday evening. That troubles me. That mistake? No. That someone else. Who is it? I don't know. Like me? I don't know. I never saw the face. The left arm is across the face and the right arm is waved, violently waved. I followed his actions with my eyes. It was the action of an arm gesticulating with the utmost passion and vehemence. For God's sake, clear the way. One moonlit night, said the man, I was sitting here when I heard a voice cry, "Hello, below there!" I started up, looked from that door, and saw this someone else, standing by the red light near the tunnel, waving as I have just now showed you. The voice seemed hoarse with shouting, and it cried, "Look out! Look out!" And then again, "Hello, below there! Look out!" I caught up my lamp, turned it on red, and ran towards the figure, calling, "What's wrong? What's happened? Where?" It stood just outside the blackness of the tunnel. I advanced so close upon it, I wondered at its keeping the sleeve across its eyes. I ran right up at it and had my hand stretched out to pull the sleeve away, and it was gone. "Into the tunnel?" said I. "No, I ran into the tunnel 500 yards. I stopped and held my lamp above my head and saw the figures of the measured distance and saw the wet stains stealing down the walls and trickling through the arch. I ran out again faster than I had run in, for I had a mortal abhorrence of the place upon me. And I looked all around the red light with my own red light. And I went up the iron ladder to the gallery atop it, and I came down again and ran back here. I telegraphed both ways. An alarm has been given. Is anything wrong? The answer came back both ways. All's well. Resisting the slow touch of a frozen finger tracing out my spine, I showed him how that this figure must be a deception of his sense of sight, and how that figures originating in disease of the delicate nerves that minister to the functions of the eye were known to have often troubled patients, some of whom had become conscious of the nature of their affliction and had even proved it by experiments upon themselves. As to an imaginary cry, said I, do but listen for a moment to the wind in this unnatural valley while we speak so low, and to the wild harp it makes of the telegraph wires. That was all very well, he returned, after we had sat listening for a while, and he ought to know something of the wind and the wires. He who so often passed long winter nights here, alone and watching. But he would beg to remark that he had not finished. I asked his pardon, and he slowly added these words, touching my arm. Within 6 hours after the appearance, the memorable accident on this line happened, and within 10 hours, the dead and wounded were brought along through the tunnel over the spot where the figure had stood. A disagreeable shudder crept over me, but I did my best against it. It was not to be denied. I rejoined that this was a remarkable coincidence, calculated deeply to impress his mind. But it was unquestionable that remarkable coincidences did continually occur, and they must be taken into account in dealing with such a subject. Though to be sure, I must admit I added, for I thought I saw that he was going to bring the objection to bear upon me, men of common sense did not allow much for coincidences in making the ordinary calculations of life. He again begged to remark that he had not finished. I again begged his pardon for being betrayed into interruptions. This, he said, again laying his hand upon my arm and glancing over his shoulder with hollow eyes, was just a year ago. 6 or 7 months passed, and I had recovered from the surprise and shock, when one morning, as the day was breaking, I, standing at the door, looked towards the red light and saw the spectre again. He stopped with a fixed look at me. Did it cry out? No, it was silent. Did it wave its arm? No. It leaned against the shaft of the light with both hands before the face, like this. Once more, I followed his action with my eyes. It was an action of mourning. I've seen such an attitude in stone figures on tombs. Did you go up to it? I came in and sat down, partly to collect my thoughts, partly because it had turned me faint. When I went to the door again, daylight was above me and the ghost was gone. But nothing followed. Nothing came of this. He touched me on the arm with his forefinger twice or thrice, giving a ghostly nod each time. That very day, as a train came out of the tunnel, I noticed at a carriage window on my side what looked like a confusion of hands and heads, and something waved. I saw it just in time to signal the driver stop. He shut off, put his brake on, but the train drifted past here 150 yards or more. I ran after it, and as I went along, I heard terrible screams and cries. A beautiful young lady had died instantaneously in one of the compartments. She was brought in here, laid down on this floor between us. Involuntarily, I pushed my chair back as I looked from the boards at which he pointed to himself. True, sir, true. Precisely as it happened, so I tell it you. I could think of nothing to say to any purpose, and my mouth was very dry. The wind and the wires took up the story with a long, lamenting wail. He resumed. Now, sir, mark this, and judge how my mind is troubled. The spectre came back a week ago. Ever since, it has been there, now and again, by fits and starts. At the light. At the danger light. What does it seem to do? He repeated, if possible, with increased passion and vehemence, that former gesticulation of, "For God's sake, clear the way!" Then he went on, "I have no peace or rest for it. It calls to me for many minutes together in an agonized manner. 'Below there! Look out! Look out!' It stands waving to me. It rings my little bell." I caught at that. "Did it ring your bell yesterday evening when I was here and you went to the door?" "Yes, sir, twice." "Why, see," said I, "how your imagination misleads you. My eyes were on the bell and my ears were open to the bell. And if I am a living man, it did not ring at those times. No, nor at any other time, except when it was rung in the natural course of physical things by the station communicating with you." He shook his head. "I have never made a mistake as to that yet, sir. I have never confused the spectre's ring with the man's. The ghost's ring is a strange vibration in the bell that it derives from nothing else. And I have not asserted that the bell stirs to the eye. I don't wonder that you failed to hear it, but I heard it." "And did the spectre seem to be there when you looked out?" "It was there." "Both times?" "Both times." "Will you come to the door with me and look for it now?" He bit his underlip as though he were somewhat unwilling, but arose. I opened the door and stood on the step while he stood in the doorway. There was the danger light. There was the dismal mouth of the tunnel. There were the high, wet stone walls of the cutting. There were the stars above them. "Do you see it?" I asked him, taking particular note of his face. His eyes were prominent and strained, but not very much more so, perhaps, than my own had been when I had directed them earnestly towards the spot. "No," he answered, "it is not there." "Agreed," said I. We went in again, shut the door, and resumed our seats. I was thinking how best to improve this advantage, if it might be called one, when he took up the conversation in such a matter-of-course way, so assuming that there could be no serious question of fact between us, that I felt myself placed in the weakest of positions. "By this time, you will fully understand, sir," he said, "that what troubles me so dreadfully is the question, what does the spectre mean?" I was not sure, I told him, that I did fully understand. "What is its warning against?" he said, ruminating, with his eyes on the fire and only by times turning them on me. "What is the danger? Where is the danger? There is danger overhanging somewhere on the line. Some dreadful calamity will happen. It's not to be doubted this third time after what has gone before. But surely this is a cruel haunting of me. What can I do?" He pulled out his handkerchief and wiped the drops from his heated forehead. "If I telegraph danger on either side of me, or on both, I can give no reason for it," he went on, wiping the palms of his hands. "I should get into trouble and do no good. They would think I was mad. This is the way it would work. Message, danger, take care. Answer, what danger? Where? Message, don't know, but for God's sake, take care. They would displace me. What else could they do?" His pain of mind was most pitiable to see. It was the mental torture of a conscientious man oppressed beyond endurance by an unintelligible responsibility involving life. "When it first stood under the danger light," he went on, putting his dark hair back from his head and drawing his hands outward, across, and across his temples in an extremity of feverish distress. Why not tell me where that accident was to happen, if it must happen? Why not tell me how it could be averted, if it could have been averted? When on its second coming it hid its face, why not tell me instead, she is going to die? Let them keep her at home. If it came on these 2 occasions only to show me that its warnings were true, and so to prepare me for the third, why not warn me plainly now? And I, Lord help me, a mere poor signalman on this solitary station, why not go to somebody with credit to be believed and power to act? When I saw him in this state, I saw that the poor man's sake, as well as for the public safety, what I had to do for the time was to compose his mind. Therefore, setting aside all question of reality or unreality between us, I represented to him that whoever thoroughly discharged his duty must do well, and that at least it was his comfort that he understood his duty, though he did not understand these confounding appearances. In this effort, I succeeded far better than in the attempt to reason him out of his conviction. He became calm. The occupations incidental to his post as the night advanced began to make larger demands on his attention, and I left him at 2 a.m. I had offered to stay through the night, but he would not hear of it. That I more than once looked back at the red light as I ascended the pathway, that I did not like the red light, and that I should have slept but poorly if my bed had been under it, I see no reason to conceal. Nor did I like the 2 sequences of the accident and the dead girl. I see no reason to conceal that either. But what ran most in my thoughts was the consideration how ought I to act, having become the recipient of this disclosure. I had proved the man to be intelligent, vigilant, painstaking, and exact, but how long might he remain so in his current state of mind? Though in a subordinate position, still, he held a most important trust, and would I, for instance, like to stake my own life on the chances of his continuing to execute it with precision? Unable to overcome a feeling that there would be something treacherous in my communicating what he had told me to his superiors in the company, without first being plain with himself and proposing a middle course to him, I ultimately resolved to offer to accompany him, otherwise keeping his secret for the present, to the wisest medical practitioner we could hear of in these parts, and to take his opinion. A change in his time of duty would come round next night, he had apprised me, and he would be off an hour or 2 after sunrise, and on again soon after sunset. I had appointed to return accordingly. Next evening was a lovely evening, and I walked out early to join it. The sun was not yet quite down when I traversed the field path near the top of the deep cutting. I would extend my walk for an hour, I said to myself. Half an hour on and half an hour back. And it would then be time to go to my signalman's box. Before pursuing my stroll, I stepped to the brink and mechanically looked down from the point which I had first seen him. I cannot describe the thrill that seized upon me when, close at the mouth of the tunnel, I saw the appearance of a man, with his left sleeve across his eyes, passionately waving his right arm. The nameless horror that oppressed me passed in a moment. For in a moment I saw that this appearance of a man was a man indeed, and that there was a little group of other men standing at a short distance, to whom he seemed to be rehearsing the gesture he made. The danger light was not lighted. Against its shaft, a little low hut, entirely new to me, had been made of some wooden supports and tarpaulin. It looked no bigger than a bed. With an irresistible sense that something was wrong, with a flashing self-reproachful fear that fatal mischief had come of my leaving the man there and causing no one to be sent to overlook or correct what he did, I descended the notched path with all the speed I could make. "What's the matter?" I asked the men. "Signalman killed this morning, sir." "No, not the man belonging to that box." "Yes, sir, not the man I know." "You will recognize him, sir, if you knew him," said the man who spoke for the others, solemnly uncovering his own head and raising an end of the tarpaulin. "His face is quite composed." "Oh, how did this happen? How did this happen?" I asked, turning from one to another as the hut was closed again. "He was cut down by an engine, sir. No man in England knew his work better, but somehow he was not clear of the outer rail. It was just at broad day. He had struck the light, had the lamp in his hand. As the engine came out of the tunnel, his back was towards her and she cut him down. That man drove her and was showing how it happened. Show the gentleman, Tom." The man wore a rough dark dress, stepped back to his former place at the mouth of the tunnel. "Coming round the curve of the tunnel, sir," he said. "I saw him at the end, like as if I saw him down a perspective glass. There was no time to check speed, and I knew him to be very careful. As he didn't seem to take heed of the whistle, I shut it off, and when we were running down upon him, I called to him as loud as I could call. 'What did you say?' 'Hello, below there! Look out! Below there! Look out! For God's sake, clear the way!' I started. It was a dreadful time, sir. I never left off calling to him. He put his arm before my eyes not to see, and I waved this arm to the last, but it was no use. Without prolonging the narrative to dwell on any one of its curious circumstances more than any other, I may, in closing it, point out the coincidence that the warning of the engine driver included not only the words which the unfortunate signalman had repeated to me as haunting him, but also the words which I, myself, and not he, had attached, and that only in my own mind, to the gesticulation he had imitated. The end.
Whoa.
That still would not have worked in any other language, in any other accent.
Charles Dickens, The Signalman. It's one of my favourite ghost stories.
It sounded so Charles Dickens. I mean, the way he writes.
Yeah, the linguistics of it as well. I had to practice some of it at lunchtime because it's like you don't really describe a hill as being very precipitate nowadays. So
that would not have worked in any other. That wouldn't have worked in Joe's, mine, or Ian's accent.
No.
Well, see, for most of it, I had my work accent on. But then when I'm doing the call out as the engine driver, I let my own accent slip in to show it's a different person.
No, that was brilliant. That was. I think I might try and snip that and see if we can put that on as a short.
Yes.
Oh, right. So we're back over to Ian then.
Yeah. I'll just put a couple up. A couple of images.
And I'm going to have a quick look to see if I can find something else to fill some time.
try and numb the pain. I've had to get something a little bit warmer. As it's to do with spirits.
This one is a London Underground one. I've got a few for London Underground.
Very well known.
You see? Yes. Can you see the spirit?
One,
I can, but to me,
3.
It's been put on afterwards.
I can see the hand of somebody next to a big dress.
I can see a long white sleeves and a dark waistcoat.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was a photo taken by a young man coach driver, Craig Cooper, and is allegedly, he believes, Winston Churchill.
Too skinny.
It looks like a woman in a dress to me. Sorry.
No, I can see the waistcoat, the hands, and the white sleeves.
Yeah, I can
But
see
I
that.
see from the waist, from where the waist would be, from the elbow,
Yeah.
it flares out like a big dress to me.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah. To be honest with you, when I initially first looked at it, I actually just thought it was staining on the stain.
Yeah.
Yeah, first off, it looks like it's reflection or staining, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the bit nearest the bench, that is definitely a hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Perry said he thinks he looks female as well.
Yeah.
Like,
If you put the third image up.
yep. No, cannot see it whatsoever as Churchy.
Nope. Neither can I.
Way too skinny.
If you
It's
put
like
the
that
fourth
one in that
up,
shot that's supposed to be Elizabeth I. It just looks like a woman from the 1920s.
yeah. If you put the fourth one up, Carl.
Fourth one, let's have a look. Yeah,
That
that's
is,
what,
to
that
me,
is what I'm
is
saying.
I am seeing a station master.
Yep.
Yeah, that would work too.
That is exactly what I say.
Because with the trousers wouldn't have been tailored, so they would have had that flare out.
Yeah. That to me is exactly what he's saying. But like I said, he's claiming he was 23, spotted the ghost after going to Queensway station to get the tube back to his hotel last summer at around midnight.
Mm-hmm.
He said he sat and waited for the train. He began to feel a presence looming over him. Feeling scared and on edge, he stood up, but then felt like someone was stood behind him. So put his back to the wall until the tube arrived. Later on, when sending a picture to his girlfriend, also in one of the pictures I put up, he noticed the figure of a bald man stood in the centre of the shot. Mr. Cooper from Caerphilly, South Wales, said, I was very unnerved. If I had seen that whilst down there, I would have run straight back up the steps very quickly. Since then, I have heard stories that people have seen the ghost of Winston Churchill down there. I know he had a bunker at a tube station nearby, so it could have been him. Mm-hmm. Churchill apparently utilised the disused Down Street tube station as a bunker during the Second World War, which is on the other side of Hyde Park. Mr. Cooper has added, after quite a few mediums I have shown a picture to have said the same thing. Some have said it could be just a reflection, but the majority have said they think it's genuine. Personally, you can see the arms and of the station master photo that I showed. But for me, it also looks just like, you can see that the line of the thing is the line of the lights.
Yeah. To me, it looks like Ghost App.
Is it pareidolia?
I think it's Ghost App.
You think it is a Ghost App?
Yeah, if you look on the arm, the train track side, notice from what would be the fingertips, like under the fingertips, up the side of the hand, and up the side of the arm, up to where the shoulder would be. Look how thick a dark line there is there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you put the one of the actual station master on again.
Yeah. Oh.
Reverse him. That's exactly the same photo.
Yeah.
Oh.
even the fact that one of his arms is higher than the other.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
look at that and then look at that, I can see where you're coming from with it, Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you look on that, on what looking at it, what is the right hand side of the screen? That hand is at a slight angle.
Yeah.
He's actually standing the way I'm standing at the moment, to be honest. Or mind you, after that Southern Comfort, I don't think I'll ever be standing at all. Let's have a quick. Yeah, to me that looks almost identical.
Yeah, it does. I can't see a bald head in that photo.
I can't see a head at all.
I can't see any head at all. But the arms and everything look almost exactly the same as that.
Yeah, and what, this was 2025, did you say?
Bear with me and I'll tell you. It's actually 2016.
Oh, so even though only like 10 years ago, but
yeah,
10 years ago, the ghost apps were around everywhere.
Yeah, they were. I mean, if you look at the photo of him and his girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm not going to, on live on camera, I'm not going to say what I think, but.
No, I thought
that too.
Yeah.
I would suggest that at 23-year-old, he would be the type to be playing around with apps.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be
interesting. What a way to get yourself named.
That picture there of like the so-called ghost and the one of the station master, can you PM them to me, Ian?
Yeah.
I won't do it now, obviously, because we're live, but no, actually, I might do. I want something I want to try. Yeah, something I want to try. So, if I can, anyway. What are your thoughts on that one, Joe? You're quite quiet on this one.
Oh, I've just been listening to the chatter. I can see that there might be something there, but I do agree with you that it could be that almost exactly that same photo of the station master. Just because of the way the arms are and things like that, it looks very much like it could be that same picture. Superimposed.
I mean, when I checked, when I looked at the photos, as I was talking about it, all I did was I literally put in station master, railway station master in images.
Yeah, so it's easy to do.
It's very easy to do, and that's exactly what one of the ones that came up. And it struck me as soon as I looked at it and thought that could almost be the same photo.
Yeah, just turn down and insert.
Yeah.
Opacity turn way down.
Yeah.
Is
there any other details on this story?
No, that was it. It was his.
Right. What we'll do then, so we're going anti-clockwise. So if we popped on over to Joe now, while he's giving his info, I'll do what I was going to try and do.
That's
impressive.
That's good.
It's a beautiful place. Absolutely gorgeous place. This is Los Angeles Union Station. Opened in 1939. It's an absolutely beautiful building. The last of the great U.S. train stations, blending Mission Revival, Spanish Colonial, and Art Deco styles. It serves as a major transportation hub for Amtrak, Metrolink, and Metro lines. Like many historical rail stations, tied to tragedy, intense emotion, and has developed a reputation for hauntings. Reported hauntings, visitors, staff, and paranormal investigators described several phenomena. A woman in red, one of the most famous apparitions, she appears in a waiting area and near the ticket counters, elegantly dressed in a striking crimson gown from a past era. She moves purposefully as if rushing to catch a train that never comes, and then she vanishes. A phantom train, late at night, when the station quiets, some claim to see a ghostly train slowly pull into the platform. Its lights are all dim, the form slightly translucent, and no passengers get off, no doors open, and it disappears moments later. The echoes classic ghost train legends. So it's one of those wonderful things. Other activities, echoing footsteps in empty corridors, long after closing, murmuring voices just out of earshot, haunted ticket booth, unseen hands shuffling papers, phantom machines clicking, and sudden cold spots, and a general feeling of being watched or not alone, shadowy figures and EMF spikes reported by investigators. It's a violent neighborhood history, lynchings, trunk murders, like those linked to Winnie Ruth Judd, platform violence, often cited as fuel for the residual energy. These stories are part of LA's rich ghost lore. There's a lot of stuff around LA that's got ghosty stuff attached to it big time. But the land that the station was built on, as kind of an aside, the area near what became known as Hangman Street saw violence, including the 1871 Chinese massacre, where the mob lynched Chinese residents amid residential or racial tensions. Construction in the late 1920s, 1930s reportedly uncovered human remains, some in unusual conditions or associated with old crimes. During World War II, the station was a bustling departure point for soldiers heading off to war, carrying all the anxiety, farewells, and loss of that era. As air and car travel rose, rail use declined, leaving the grand halls quieter, a perfect backdrop for all these ghost stories. So it was actually a neat. I mean, I love the building; it's absolutely beautiful. But it is in LA. There you go. I lived 60 miles from LA for a number of years, 2 decades, a little over 2 decades. And, you know, you go into town and that kind of stuff, take the train over to LA. So you don't have to fight traffic and parking and all that stuff. But yeah, absolutely beautiful, beautiful building and a lot of history. You can feel stuff as you're in there.
Mm-hmm.
You
Quite
look at the
big.
floor.
That's impressive.
Yeah, you look at the floor and you can imagine the footsteps echoing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the troops, with women with stilettos.
Oh yeah, the beautiful dressed people,
like you said,
Hollywood people, you know,
the
movie
emotion-
stars and things like that, come in and take a train and go out to, you know,
The emotions that
anywhere.
go through a place like that, like you say, especially during the war where there's troops leaving. You say you
Pretty
felt
cool.
stuff there yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you walk through the place, you just feel like you're being watched in lots of places. There's spots that you walk through, and it could be the air conditioning, but there's spots where you walk through and it's normal temperature, and then all of a sudden you get this really intense cold spot, and it pops out, and you're going as what the temperature was beforehand. Yeah, you get that quite a bit. But a lot of
looking at the roof, you could see the vents, but I did wonder whether that could be something.
And it very well could be, but it's not as often as there are vents. So is the AC cycling, you know, as you're walking through, or is it just, you know, maybe it's not directly aimed where you're walking through? There's a lot of things it could be, but every once in a while you'll hit that really cold spot.
Well, you know yourself, as we all do. You walk through a spot, you know he's not just a...
Yeah. But it's an absolutely beautiful place. And you step out, the temperature's like, you know, in summertime, the temperature's 80, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Absolutely gorgeous. And then you get a cab or take a metro someplace else in town and go have fun.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
You've
You've
never
actually come across anything yourself, though?
Not in the station, no.
Teams.
I could never get in and investigate or anything. Could never get in. They always wanted more money than I had.
No, which
So-
is usually the way.
Yep. Yeah, you take the metro up, go to Hollywood Vine, go over to Roosevelt, sit in the lobby and feel like you're being stared at. Look
Yeah.
for a Marilyn Monroe's ghost while you're up there, you know?
I will
Well,
say
it's
sorry about having to keep popping on and off the camera, but I'm in a lot of pain at the minute, so
Yeah.
I didn't really want it on camera. What I was saying about the app, I think I've uploaded the right picture, but there we go.
Yeah.
That's almost that is an identical match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've done literally what you said.
Mm.
So I call complete bullshit on that ghost picture, I'm afraid.
Yeah. It's like I say,
That's
just
exactly
when I
in
looked at
line.
it, I thought it was the lights, and then I thought, yeah, you can see the hands. And
Yeah.
then when I Googled, like I say, I Googled railway station masters because I've seen the old style. There's a few
Yeah.
of the old steam heritage places. And you
Yeah.
always see them with the waistcoat and as
Seeing
soon as I
that
saw
now-
that, I thought, that's
Well, I've taken both the images. I've overlaid the station master image you got, and it matches exactly the same.
yeah.
Both
Yeah,
hands,
so
and
being less opaque, you know, like the first one is really opaque, you can barely see it.
Yeah.
This one
Yeah.
here being less toned down, you can
Yeah.
actually see the face and the hat and how they sit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way on God's
Um,
earth that looks like Winston Churchill.
No.
Sorry.
but yeah, no, it may not as I'm not thinking ghost app now. I think they've just intentionally manipulate the image.
Mm-hmm.
It may
Yeah,
not be
it-
the
it
exact
does
same
look
one that
that
you
way.
found. It may
Like
not be the
I
exact
said,
same one you found.
23-year-old, and he's in 2016, he's going to be messing around with computers and
Yeah.
things
Yeah, 'cause
like
back in 2016, if you knew a lot about computers, it was like a centre of attention.
Yeah. I mean, Crash, I
Mhm.
was doing stuff with photos and that way back when.
Yeah. So I personally call that image a fake. Personally,
Doctored. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but from the image you got plus the image that they photographed, that is an exact match.
I mean, if he's saying if he'd seen it and he was scared, if he'd have seen it while he was down there, why take a photo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not. I've been down the tube station loads of
You
times.
can tell by the framing of it, it's intentionally let's take a creepy photo
Yeah,
with the way it's
exactly. You're scared stiff. Your back's against the wall because you think there's someone behind you and all that. Why'd you take a photo of a deserted platform?
Yeah,
framed.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so over to me now then. Oh, sorry, had you finished, Joe?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, so we got this one. I'm going to have to put my bins on for this one again because it's a bit
Any
outrageous.
and every Victorian English railway station.
This one is actually Crewe in Cheshire.
Yeah.
Again, I was going to say I've been through Crewe several times.
Right. The town of Crewe was built around the station. So the station was the first thing built there and everything else came afterwards. The station radioing out from the station. 200 years of operation at the station has brought many tales. I spelt tales wrong there, apologies. But never mind. It's claimed that Queen Victoria had a secret access tunnel from behind what is now the disabled lift in the North Subway, but this has never been neither proven nor disproven. Investigators have been down there, but always end up running out extremely quickly, saying it is not for the faint of heart. There's a ghostly cat seen walking the station, laughter of children in the tunnels, and a sense of unease in the northern tunnel, and ghostly footprints have appeared in the ticket office Now that I didn't
Cool.
download, it, but apparently there is a video footage of ghostly footprints at Crew Station appearing.
That would
I've
be cool.
just put a video, not a video clip. I've just put another photo in of Crew because it was one I was gonna.
Right. Okay.
Do.
Right. What was I? Lost my spot now. Oh yeah. The as I was saying, the footprints that appear in the ticket station. Apparently, there is video footage of footprints taken by the CCTV of ghostly footprints appearing on the floor. In fairness, because I had the accident on the Wednesday, I didn't get around to looking for it, and obviously it's too late now. So, right, what was I? There's also alleged CCTV from the Crew ticket office has captured these appearing. Crew in a list of in-station staff have said when asked which freaked them out the most, Crew came up as a second to Carlisle, which is the previous one I spoke to. So let me quickly pop up that image Ian done. Oh,
this was allegedly caught on camera.
That's intriguing.
Coming up the steps.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I can't make my mind up. I've only seen this.
No, I can't.
There's supposed to be a video of it. I'll see if I can find a video.
That's a red circle.
See if you can find the ghostly footprint
exactly.
one as well.
That's what made me believe it. I can't make my mind up whether it was something that was on the camera, with it being a still, something that's on the camera and the camera can't focus on it. If I can find the video and it actually shows it moving.
Looks like a lady in old clothes walking up the steps.
It does.
Yes.
Down the steps.
I would say coming up the steps.
I would say coming up. The lean of it is it's coming up to
the
me.
lean and the positioning of the legs or potential legs.
Yes.
That's
the cynic in me also says it's bird shit on the camera lens.
Yeah.
And it can't focus on it, which is why it's an odd shape, and it's like I say, it is supposed to be a still from
and all these big old Victorian stations with high ceilings have all got lots of pigeons inside.
Oh yes. I'll see if I can find the actual video of it.
That would be interesting to find.
If I can, I'll put it up. But yeah, there's a hotel that's literally across the way from it as well. That's haunted. They've heard disembodied footsteps, like say, unexplained movements, especially in the ticket office. The Crew Arms Hotel, which is across the road, is also haunted. There's rumoured to be a secret tunnel between the station and the hotel, and a Victorian woman who makes her presence known in both buildings.
The only other one I had was a very brief things. One was about Liverpool Street Station. Apparently, they found, when they was doing renovations there, they found the bodies of 30,000 plague victims under Liverpool Street Station.
That's me.
Yeah.
That is a huge amount.
Let me just mute myself.
That is 30,000 is a huge amount of people.
Yeah.
And apparently a wave of ghost sightings at train stations re-emerged back in 2025, last year. Apparently ghostly sightings started appearing at train stations again. But the only other one I had, the Lewisham one, I'm not really going to bother with. That was only Not really. It's just basically supposedly the shadow of a very tall, skinny woman seen standing there, and it's allegedly a woman committed suicide in front of a train. But the other one was Ingerston is said to be haunted by the station master who died there in suspicious circumstances. He is said to linger pacing up and down, doing his duties in old-fashioned uniform. Reports of his keys rattling. It's believed the former station master that mysteriously fell. Witnesses have claimed to have seen him, see his lamp used in the type of lamp that they used in the 1800s, and heard the whistles. Many locals believe he's nothing to fear, but he's there doing his duties, keeping the place working as he did when he was in life. They're the only other little bits I had. So, right, oh, sorry. And Ian's looking for the. Do you want us to jump over to Linda while you're looking, Ian?
Yeah, jump across while I just try and find this.
Right, I'm putting some pics in then.
Right, Ian. So I think it's this one.
Yeah.
That's a nice picture
Beautiful
there.
steam train.
That's pretty much what all our local railway bridges look like up here. So
What's this one? Oh no, that's spooky. That one.
yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that image. Oh, right. So we're over to you then, Lynn.
This one, I'm amazed to find I've got a local one.
Ooh, what in Elgin?
No, not far out. It's part of the Dava Way. Remember, I was on about the wildfires last year that were going. It's now being declared the UK's first ever mega fire.
Yeah,
Right.
The same place that big fire was. There's railway lines all the way through it because it's a big expanse of nothingness. But a few of them have been destroyed, courtesy of Mr. Beeching, of course. And this is the Dava railway line, the long gone Dava railway line. People have reported sightings from, 1921, the first sighting. A local man was walking home along a path beside the Dunfail to Dava railway line, which is out the back of forest, down into the Dava Moor.
is this the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He saw a locomotive with a full head of steam and pulling 4 carriages behind it, and it appears that the entire thing is on fire.
Whoa.
What surprised him
Wow.
more than that?
That's Joe's one again, isn't it?
It looks like it.
It is.
Yeah, that's Joe's one again.
I didn't see it on the close-up. I couldn't see the close-up of it.
No, that's the problem. That's the problem I have.
That's the Lincoln one. Yeah. So the bit that surprised him more than the fact this entire train and its engine appeared to be on fire was it was charging along at full speed 2 foot above the actual tracks.
Okay.
It's been spotted by various locals in the area several times over the next 50 years, with prominent sightings reported well into the 1960s and 70s. What they think it is, nobody knows exactly why it appears. The most prominent local theory traces back to an incident that happened 30 years before the first sighting. A freight train that was packed tightly with livestock caught fire as it was leaving Dava station. Now, at that point, there's only one railway line, so rather than grind everything to a halt, they kept going until they could get to the next station to put it out, by which time all the cattle were dead and cooked.
And roasted.
Yeah.
Funny that I had steak for dinner tonight.
The railway line in question opened in 1863. Dunfail Station boasted that it was claimed to be the longest station platform in Britain at that time. I have walked the full length of several platforms in Newcastle and Waverley in Edinburgh, which feel like you're walking 3 miles.
Yeah.
This railway line was axed in 1965 as part of the beaching cuts, and the physical metal rails are no longer there, but sightings of the train continued into the late 60s and early 70s, even though the tracks are gone. They also occasionally claim to hear the distinct, disembodied chugging sounds of a steam train echoing through the night. You can't mention the calls of cattle in danger and in trouble because coos make that noise all the time. So,
yeah.
see, that was one local to me.
You were saying that the reports are of it being above the ground.
Yeah.
Now, is there any info as to whether that area of like where the train track originally was, whether it's been lowered?
The ground level probably would be, because the moor is a big source for peat, but that would have been not during the life of the tracks being there.
Right.
That would have been before and potentially after, but not during.
Because I've always heard the theory that with residuals, often you'll see, say, like a Roman soldier or something, you'll only see them from like the knee upwards. Yeah. And then when you look into it, the ground level was a lot lower previously. Mm-hmm. So if the ground had still been at the same level, you would have seen a whole of them. I was wondering if it's similar situations. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in a lot of pain at the minute, so my brain's not really working. My brain never works anyway. So,
yeah, I thought that was cool, and I've got one just for impressive photos. Let me take these photos out, and then I'll put the new ones in, just because it's my favourite pretty station.
Mm. Oh, is that the one?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That is one of the waiting rooms at Waverley Station.
Yes. Been there several times. Absolutely gorgeous.
That's the one where the free toilets are that you don't have to pay for is.
That's a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of various stories of Waverley. There are sections, the platform, like if you're coming north, for example, a journey I did lots of times from Derby back up to me, right? So you're Derby, York, Edinburgh, north. And when you're coming to Edinburgh from York, you get off the train at one end of the platform, you walk to the opposite end of the platform to get on the next train heading north. And it literally, you're kind of mostly outdoors because it's a Victorian railway station. You're kind of mostly outdoors, but there's not a ceiling all the way. But that platform totally feels like one of the corridors in the Shining movie. You know?
I can see where you come from there.
Yeah. And that one, where are we? There are tales of a top-hatted man. Commuters and staff have reported sighting a shadowy figure wearing a 19th century top hat, often seen pacing the platforms or standing near the track edges. Mostly. Is this the
one where you had your ghostly experience?
No, that was York.
Oh, it was York.
That was York railway station, that one.
See, I remember some things.
And it says that the top-hatted man tends to be on the platforms where the trains are heading north. Anytime I come through Waverley, I'm on those platforms, the older ones. It's like you go past and you've got all the big stone arches from the original pre-Victorian construction.
Oh, nice.
There's also a phantom woman expressing deep anxiety or sorrow, crying, howling, and wailing in the older, less frequented corridors of the station. If they ever move your platform number, if you go from like 1 to 6, you're fine. If it goes higher than 6, you're going into the older section, the less frequented corridors, which is where she is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, part of the potential as to why Waverley could be haunted is it's on top of the Norloch. The Norloch, Edinburgh is volcanic. So the whole of Edinburgh is shaped like that or like that. There's no flat bits. It's uphill, downhill, every direction you go.
As I've said before, Lee Evans makes that joke that when you go to Edinburgh, you go somewhere, you're going uphill, and when you go back home, you're still going uphill.
Yep.
Yep.
And Waverley, the Norloch was being closest to the town centre, the Royal Mile, the densest population.
Yeah.
And of course, Gardyloo runs downhill. So you can imagine what the Norloch was like. The Norloch was that bad. Robbie Burns fell in it drunk and was pulled out literally 5 minutes later and spent 3 weeks in the hospital because of infections he'd picked up while he was in the water for 5 minutes.
Christ.
That's how bad it was. Also, it's the town dumping ground, a place for public executions just on the edge of the water. So you and your head or whatever, however they killed you, fell into the water as well. Dumping site for suspected witches as well.
All right.
And there's lots of stuff. You can come out of Waverley Station generally, unless you're there between midnight and 4 a.m., it's mentally crazy busy all the time. Midnight to 4, you'll be lucky if you see 3 people. But outside of those times, it's really busy. But if you're there and it's quiet, you literally feel like you're still walking through a crowd, even though there's no crowd there. The fact that it's marshland and it's been used for all these horrible things and it was so polluted and all the rest, water carries energy. Even though it's now a railway station and has been for quite a long time, as you can see by the stained glass and everything, it's still marshland around it, to the point where they've planted the garden one side and they've had to put the other side is just all trees to try and soak up some of the water. The other common thing which you hear in a lot of old railway stations is the disembodied voices, train whistles when there's nobody nowadays uses a train whistle, and cold spots that move around you and follow you. So... but yeah, that's Waverley.
Ian, did you have any luck with that video clip?
I've got a video. It's not of that, but I have got a video under Carlisle in the tunnel.
Oh, okay.
So if I...
Oh, my bedroom's gone very cold all of a sudden.
That ghost passing through. Ron Ian's going to show us. Come visiting.
This is where
there is a
you
ghost
usually
and they can
start
give me a bit
tickling.
of healing and take some of this pain away.
Right.
You might be getting a little bit of this soon then.
Yeah. If she does, bugger her. She
Well,
ain't
she
been
can
around
give
for a
you
while.
healing.
She hasn't been around for a while.
We're not left there.
Right.
Let's take that back to the beginning. Go on. And this is Carlisle Citadel.
This is it's the tunnel under Carlisle Station.
The Undercroft, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a very good jail, that guy's
Left
in.
there.
Been those waters.
Not
Bending
Carlisle.
past
It's Crew.
It is.
Crew, yeah.
Oh, Crew.
Yeah.
Fluffed it up, I wonder. Thanks, go again, Dave. Oh, shit.
I've seen this one before,
Yeah.
but it was supposedly somewhere else when I saw it before.
No, is that been added on? That noise been added on top after?
I don't know.
I'm wondering if that's a fox.
Bloody big fox if it's a fox.
Or weak and injured and in a very echoey place.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a very echoey area, isn't it? So
Could be a piece of ventilation equipment because it's very regular and the same thing.
Yeah, I did think that myself, that it was machinery being used.
It's the BFG CPAP machine.
But you can understand why they...
It fucking stopped. Do you not hear it stop? Yeah.
the fact that the noise itself seemed to last the same amount of time, and the gap in between seems to be the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
If you was down there and that suddenly came out of nowhere, you would need a change of underwear, I reckon.
Yeah. Personally, it's too regular, like we've said.
Yeah.
It's too regular and it's the same noise.
Mm-hmm.
I bet if you put a stopwatch on in the gaps, they would
It'll
all
be the same between them, yeah.
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 And I bet you the sound would be exactly the same.
I think Joe had it right with the whether it's aircon or machinery, it's something further down the tunnel. It's a mechanical noise. It's not. But there are, you can understand why people are coming up with why people say they hear animal noises down there, and
Perry as well, yeah. Right, anyone else got any more?
I've got a 2-line thing, literally.
Okay,
go ahead.
Joe, have you?
Oh, I've got one or two.
Okay, because I've used all mine up, so obviously because of the accident, I didn't get a chance to do any more than what I'd done. So.
Oh, excuses! Oh my goodness!
You've had a full week. You've not been doing anything. You've not been out in the garden or anything, have you?
Oh,
no.
I have to tell you though.
Woe is me.
What my youngest done with my planter, I am so proud of what he's done. It looks phenomenal.
Good. Yeah,
you know,
I did a good job.
He's wanting to learn a little bit. When his mum tries to teach him, he gets bored in like about half a second. But he wanted me to teach him. I went, right, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you get the plants out. This is what you do with the roots. You've got the plants there. You put them in how you think they go in. And if I don't like it, I'll tell you to change it. But he's done it, and I don't think he needs to change it at all. He's done an amazing job. Right, so as Linda's only got two very short ones, shall we go from Linda?
Go ahead, Linda.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't
you've got a lot of food in your belly, Elsa. Look at the size of you. Blimey, girl.
The Tay Railway Bridge disaster of Dundee.
Yeah.
The original Tay Bridge collapsed during a violent storm on December the 28th, 1879.
Was Mothman there?
Well, that's partly why I included it. It plunged a train carrying roughly 70 passengers and the entire train into the icy waters of the River Tay. According to local lore and supernatural accounts, the train can still be seen crossing the estuary on the anniversary of the disaster, and it gets to the halfway point where the bridge collapsed, and disappears. So
it makes you wonder whether it's the water killed more people or the crash.
well,
Probably
they do say up here it doesn't matter what time of year you go in the water. If you wind up in the water accidentally, you've got 3 minutes. None of the fishermen up here bother learning to swim because you're just making yourself work hard for your last 3 minutes.
Well, they also say on the anniversary you can hear the screams of the dead passengers.
When my son was younger, we were in the UK, and we were at Bamborough Castle.
Oh yeah.
You know, I spent time at Annick, and he didn't want to go to Chillingham, so I said, "Oh, okay, I love Chillingham Castle." But,
I've not been yet, but it's on the list.
Oh, it's so cool. We went to Bamborough and walked around there, and he said, "Oh, look, there's a beach, there's water." And I had a swimsuit, and he said, "Okay, I want to go swimming." He went swimming there in the North Sea for like 30 minutes with 2 other kids that he found there. And I think they're all just insane. I took off my shoes and stepped in and said, "There's no way I'd be swimming in this."
Yeah.
Nope. But he did. He was there for about a half hour. Wanted to go back the next day.
I'm a lot further north than Bamborough. When I go to the beach and go swimming, I generally hit the water about 11 o'clock and I come out either when I turn purple or somewhere around about 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I
spend more time in the water than on the beach because the heat makes me poorly and I love the water and I will literally stay in the water until I'm either numb or purple.
I can't swim, so I don't ever bother.
I did the Arctic swim in when I was up at Prudhoe Bay to do a job. I was up there, and of course, everybody's, "Have you done the Arctic Challenge yet?" No. Okay. Yeah. Put on your bathrobes with boxers or whatever, and you walk down in flip flops, and you take your bathrobe off and jump in, and immediately jump right back out again.
Yep.
And that was my experience. It was great. And then you run up real fast, get in the shower, and then get in the steam room.
What we usually do around here is you get down the beach, you're automatically stripped down to your cozy or your trunks or whatever. You run like hell into the water to about waist deep, then you plug your nose, jump on the spot and do a kamikaze down under the water and straight back up. Because once you get your shoulders done, the rest of it's fine. The trick is getting past, well, for the ladies, getting from the waist to the shoulder. That's the worst bit. And of course, for the blokes, it's a bit lower.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I don't go in the sea because I can't afford the shrinkage.
I did it once on not Kefalonia. Where were we? We were Yugoslavia, as it was at the time. And there's an island off where we were. We used to catch the ferry out to it. First day I dived in, it was like diving into a warm bath. Yeah. And it was a nudist island. And I thought, I was young and stupid. Oh, go skinny dipping. Brilliant. Oh, yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Like swimming in a warm bath.
I do have to say, I was like that when I went swimming in Haiti. 42 degrees out of the water.
Yeah.
And it was like going into a bath. But it was one of these, that beautiful turquoise water.
Yeah. You
put your hand 2 inches below the surface of the water and you can't see your hand.
No, well, there it was brilliant. Yeah. Like I said, second
in Haiti, it's all cloudy because it's all, at the time there was construction on the other side of the island and of course all the coral dust and everything. So you couldn't see through the turquoise water. And as you walk in, of course, you know how you get these strange people who go swimming in wetsuits and socks and the wet sock things? I'm like, what the hell are you getting dressed to go swimming for? So I'm barefoot with my cozy on. And as I'm walking into the water, it feels weird. And I'm like, Okay, have they put some kind of like fishing net down over the rocks under the surface? Or is that actually soft coral I'm walking on, or what? Because it wasn't stabby or sharp or anything.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, this is kind of strange. But then again, I'm not used to these waters or these temperatures. And then a woman 4 foot away from me screamed like a foghorn. And she floated up onto her back, lifted her foot. She's got a sea urchin that size stuck in the bottom of her foot.
Ouch.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
So immediately I start swimming and lift my feet. And suffice to say, when I swam inshore, I was swimming until my boobs were grazing the sand, and that's when I put my feet down.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
It's like,
we
nah,
were in,
I'm not taking that chance of a sea urchin stuck in my foot.
yeah, we one of the couples we met there
Mhm.
actually stood on one right up in the instep, and sea
Ooh.
urchin shells are very, very brittle.
Yeah.
Hello, Bill.
So it went into his foot about an inch.
Jeez.
And
Snapped off.
he was still on crutches on his way home 2 weeks later.
Christ.
But yeah, the first week, like I said, diving into the warm water, it was gorgeous. Second week I dived in, it was like diving into an ice pit. And I shouted to my girlfriend, as she was at the time, throw us me trunks. Why? Just throw me bloody trunks. I'm not getting out like this.
But
I ended up with a mini.
Oh, don't make me laugh, please.
Swimming-
Yeah, that's too much.
Swimming naked is
Absolutely.
kind of weird, though. I mean, for the ladies, if you are above a C cup, it's ever so such a weird sensation.
The shrinkage.
No, the girls float independently.
Oh,
So
please
you're
don't make me laugh.
swimming,
Don't
you're
make me laugh, it
swimming,
hurts.
and there's one, there's the other. As you're moving your, it's such a weird feeling. But as I say, it doesn't work if you're below a C cup. But the
That's
first
swollen.
time I did
Over
it,
the
I was just fascinated with the sensation. I'm like, this is really strange. It's about the only time in your life you actually feel like the girls are properly supported is when you're swimming naked.
Oh, how swollen my chest is and that at the moment. Maybe I need to go swimming then. Use right. All
Talk
boobs,
about going off topic. Sorry, folks.
all boobs and bits aside, we go over to this.
All right, so this is the bank station in London,
That was, yeah.
and the Black Nun, Sarah Whitehead, is one of London's most famous and enduring ghosts, primarily associated with the Bank of England on Threadneedle Street and the nearby Bank Underground Station.
I've got an uncle there. I don't know if he still does, but I had an uncle that worked there. One of my brothers, one of my father's brothers worked at Threadneedle Street.
Was his name Paul Whitehead?
Nah.
Because Sarah Whitehead's brother, Paul Whitehead, sometimes called Philip in older accounts, worked as a clerk at the Bank of England. Starting in 1797. He lived extravagantly, speculated on the stock market, and was eventually involved in forgery, as they do.
Yeah.
In 1811, he was tried at the Old Bailey for forging financial documents and was executed by hanging at Newgate Prison on January 29th, 1812. Wow. That must have been one heck of a forgery theft and stuff. But then again, those days they get you for stealing bread and hang you for that. So,
yeah, true.
the news of his conviction and death was reportedly kept from Sarah for as long as possible. Excuse me. When she learned the truth, she suffered a severe mental breakdown. She began visiting the Bank of England almost daily, dressed in mourning black, including a long black veil or crepe dress. Asking staff if her brother was there, or when he would return. She refused to accept that he was dead. The bank's directors showed her some sympathy. They provided her with small payments or grants on the condition that she stopped visiting so frequently. She became a well-known local eccentric, often called the bank nun or the lady in black. Due to her perpetual mourning attire, she reportedly continued this routine for many years and died in 1837, around 61 years of age, in the Old Kent Road area. Some details of her life, including her exact name, Sarah, have limited contemporary documentation, and the story has been embellished over the years through the 19th century newspapers, penny dreadfuls, and folklore. The haunting at Bank Station and the Bank of England.
Sorry, just
Sarah's
quickly.
ghost is spread.
Sorry, just quickly. I'm having to go on mute for a minute because I'm getting a major spasm. So, but I am still here, guys.
Okay, spaz away. Sarah's ghost is said to haunt the Bank of England inside the building and its gardens and the surrounding streets, particularly Threadneedle Street. She's also been reported at the Bank Underground Station, one of London's busiest and most complex stations, built over the old burial grounds. A woman in long black dress, veil, sometimes appearing as a nun-like figure, wandering the platforms, corridors, and ticket areas. She approached people often, staff or late-night travelers, and quietly asks, "Have you seen my brother?" or inquires about them before fading away. Cold spots, unexplained footsteps, and a sense of sadness accompany the apparition. Sightings reported well into the 20th century, including by bank employees in the 1970s. That's pretty recent, considering this, was done around the 1700s. The late 1797 kind of area, and he was done in 1812. So yeah, quite a while. But yeah, there's Bank Station itself is considered one of the most haunted in the London Underground, partially due to its location over old plague pits and church graveyards. But the Black Nun is its star ghost. Pretty cool, I thought.
Well, she's also alleged to be the reason they call the old lady of Threadneedle Street.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Her ghost. There's a bit of discrepancy as to whether she's given it the name or she got the name.
Yeah.
But she's believed, again, depending on which story you read, to be buried in Church of St. Mary, Walworth. If she was interred there, if she was buried there, that became the station's ticket office.
Oh, okay.
Which would mean her ghost is literally haunting her own grave. Which would explain why she haunts the underground station, because that was where the church she was buried at.
Do you think that's more likely to be? You think it's more likely to be a residual, though?
I don't know if she goes around asking people where her brother is. I don't think so.
There's too many cases, too many instances of, like Joe says, of her actually talking to people and interacting. And it's not just, have you seen my brother? And vanish. She does interact.
Yeah.
So
that's a really good ghost. I like that kind.
Yeah.
They'll walk out, buy you a sandwich, and chat for a bit.
Yeah, I really like that one. That's a good one.
I found a very short, sweet one that's quite nice. It's not really a ghosty thing. So I'm going to put a couple images in. And
Carl, you sound so healthy.
Oh, I'm in a serious amount of pain right this minute.
Right. These two are Dr. Margaret McCullum and her late husband, who was an actor, Oswald Lawrence.
Can't say I've ever heard of him.
After Lawrence passed away in 2007, Dr. McCullum found comfort in regularly visiting the northbound Northern Line platform at Embankment Tube Station.
I know
She
this
would
story.
wait for the trains just to hear his familiar voice delivering the iconic "Mind the Gap," which he had recorded decades earlier. When Transport for London updated their audio system to a newer digital version in 2012, Lawrence's recording was replaced. Heartbroken and panicked, Dr. McCollum reached out to the transport authorities to request a copy of the original recording so she could listen to it at home. Deeply moved by her daily ritual, Transport London officials not only provided her with a personal CD of the audio, but went one step further by officially restoring Lawrence's recording back to the loudspeakers at the Embankment tube station. His voice continues to play there today, serving as a lasting memorial for her. I think that's quite sweet. And there's a very similar story with a husband going to a railway station in Washington to hear his wife when she did her announcements before she died. So I thought that's quite sweet.
I like that
It's
one.
very cute.
Yeah, that's a sweet one, those. Right, any more for
Yeah, got a couple.
Oh, okay.
Let me remove my photos. There we go.
If I can find them. Just going off.
Sorry, Perry, I didn't see that. Good night.
See you, Perry.
Night, Perry. Right. Speaking of,
that's another one of the old style ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glasgow Central.
I thought I recognised it. I've only been to that one twice.
I've been to it several times. I worked about 200 yards up the road from it, and I used to visit it on a regular basis for a while. But it's opened in 1879, and it's the second busiest railway terminal outside London. It's a Category A listed building, but beneath its polished concourse are old tunnels, abandoned platforms, and lost rooms steeped in history. Several tragic events have left their mark. In 1903, 2 railway workers were killed when a mineral train collided outside the station. A football special in 1925 injured dozens when it struck the platform buffers. Again, another rail disaster. It was used as a makeshift mortuary. Shadowy figures have been seen under the woman in a Victorian dress has been seen walking round the boiler room. Multiple witnesses describe shadowy figures crossing the disused lower platform.
Yeah.
It is. It's either that or Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Vampire
from Highgate went up to Glasgow for the picture.
It's Glasgow is just likely a drunk.
This was taken by a Central Station tour guide, Paul Lyons, and it says photo. Obviously, it's a selfie. He does ghost tours around the place.
Large that.
And it was taken by him. He shared it on his Twitter account along with a caption, a very odd photo from a tour last year. I can't explain it.
Well, he's carrying a blue carrier bag or a blue umbrella.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, you know yourself, Linda, as a tour guide, you count people in and out.
Yep, absolutely.
He knows how many people were down there or were supposed to be down there.
And they're all wearing matching hats anyway.
Yeah.
Majority.
So he knows how many are supposed to be there. He said it was the weirdest thing. I accounted for everyone on the tour and never exceed the required number. For health and safety purposes, everyone must wear high-vis jackets and hard hats. He had neither. The platform, which remains out of sight for the public using the station, closed over 55 years ago, and dates from the opening of the station dates it back to 1896. It was closed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Him and the group were the only ones down there at the time, allegedly. And yet this guy is seen.
And
he said
because it's the level below where the public would be.
Yeah.
If it was somebody doing like an urban explorer or whatever, they definitely wouldn't be standing there when they saw that group.
No.
Right.
You'd be off around the corner like a rabbit up close.
Yeah.
You would have thought so.
And the fact it's solid because it's casting a shadow.
Mm-hmm. And it's carrying something blue.
It's carrying something blue, which he mentions in his Twitter thing, saying where he's come from, I have no idea. He shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
He's obviously, whoever it is, reacting to the camera.
That looks like one of them paper shopping bags, some like places like Selfridges or somewhere.
Well, I was going to say the early Tesco bags for life, but putting my old lady glasses on, it almost looks like a brown shirt with black dungarees over it, clothing-wise.
Put my glasses on, have a look.
Or a black Macintosh.
To me, the arms,
Well, I can see the shape of the bib and the bit up over.
Yeah, it looks like it's, like you say, either dungarees or the arms are translucent or a lace.
Yeah.
Because if you look above the guy's hat, I don't know if it's just pixelation, but if you look exactly on top of the guy's hat, it looks like there's two pockets there. But I don't know if that's just pixelation.
Could be.
Yeah,
Personally
in the
speaking,
slightly
I know we said Nosferatu first.
Yeah.
But looking closer at it, it could be a female in a black dress.
Possibly.
Yeah, it could be an older lady. Yeah, with the straps.
And there is an old lady in a Victorian
Just noticed there, yeah.
who's known to be.
That's known to wander around there.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call bib and brace style top of a dress or dungarees.
No.
Victorian. She's the if it's a she's the wrong shape.
Yeah.
For Victorian, and the clothing's the wrong shape for Victorian.
But it's
a
strange one.
No, it's definitely a weird one. There, I don't know what to make of that.
He would have. I mean, you're taking a selfie like that. You would notice if someone was out there.
Absolutely, especially when it's a group one and it's forward.
When everyone's in high vis and bump caps.
Yeah,
she could be 1930s, 1940s too. I mean,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, because potentially being where it is, it could easily have been used as like bomb shelters as well during that time.
But it's definitely, to me, it's definitely reacting to the camera.
Absolutely. It's looking at the camera.
Yeah.
There's an image I've just thought from video clip.
Colin's obviously been reading the group. It's got a red circle, so it must be real.
Yeah. No big arrow there. So a little bit of doubt.
Sorry, just Jesus. Yes. No, just seeing that and listening to what you're saying, that just reminded me of something. I've just quickly got the image of it up. You've probably seen it. It's people claiming that there's a old Charlie Chaplin video clip of a woman using a mobile phone. Obviously, it's not. It's some kind of hearing aid. But looking at that image reminds me of the way she's dressed.
Yeah.
Very similar type of coat or something. That's just why it brought to mind.
Yeah.
But no, that is definitely interesting one. I'm not sure what to make of that.
Yeah.
No, like I say, if it was an open area and people could get access. Like you say, if it was on another platform and people had access. But they were the only ones down there. It was locked off, closed off.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking a selfie. You're looking at that selfie.
Yeah, because you're going to make sure
you're going to be. Hang on a minute. Who the hell's that?
Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Unless it didn't show up on the camera when you hit the button.
Well, exactly.
Some ghosts work that way. Yeah.
That's definitely weird. Right. Anyone got any more before we close off?
No, I've got quite a few. We are. I think it's definitely one we could do again. There is so
yeah.
Even just on the London Underground, there's about 20 stories I could tell.
Well, there's the massive abandoned one that was used as a bomb shelter that's got umpteen different ghost stories about it.
Yeah. Well, Churchill's book really had going on down there.
Yeah.
Well, there's the one for the British Museum. Amen Ra, the priestess is supposed to haunt. Yeah. There's any number.
Right.
And that's just on the London Underground.
Right. So I think we'll call it there, and we'll come back to this one at another point then, I reckon.
Yeah. There's lots of stories, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got on team in America.
Yeah. Lots of them over here, over in the States. I've got one here from India. I just didn't feel like doing it, so it's been closed for 42 years, and there's not a lot other than a lady in white running alongside the train. So it's not a huge ghost story, but maybe I'll find some more info.
Out in India, women in white bloody every day.
Some lady getting some exercise. I hear that train coming around the bend. Hey, let's go.
She might have caught a scarf in the closed door.
She probably fell off the top.
Well, she's not running round the back. She's managed to lob her burqa around the handle on the back of the train.
Apologies that I've had to keep coming off the camera, but I'm a little bit tender, so I'm going to keep coming off every now and then. It's been fascinating as always.
Yeah, that's the world's smallest violin. You're pushing it now.
I'm going to go finish my bit of steak.
Yeah.
As if Bella hasn't finished it. She has passed out on the bed. I got to it.
Madam's curled up in a cardboard box, but before she did, she was seriously investigating my second course. So I better get that eaten, because I have a feeling if I leave it here, it's chicken. I have a feeling if I leave it here overnight, it's not going to be there in the morning.
Probably not.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Anyway, guys, fantastic as always.
I think that's a good idea, though, Carl. If you do Linda's
I'm going to try. I'm going to see what I can do. Yeah, I'm going to see what I can do. It's going to be quite a long. Actually, I probably won't be able to put it in the show. I'll probably have to put it in.
It'd be too long for a show.
It'd be too long for a show. I think short a maximum of 4 minutes. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if worst comes to worst, we could just nip on at some other time. Just do the story so you can get it recorded and get it up.
Oh, what, like you done with the Black-Eyed Kids?
Yeah,
can do. And if I can figure out how to do it, I might actually be able to put it through Meta AI and create a video to go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can take the transcript and use a transcript as a prompt.
Yeah.
That's going to take some bloody doing, because Meta AI video clips only max out at 5 seconds a time. So I've got some fun coming. Luckily, I enjoy doing that sort of thing.
And if it loads, I'm going to have a go with your silly little app tomorrow afternoon, because I'm back at the 11th Century Church tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Unless I get any visitors, I will be the only one there.
I tried sending the link via here, but it didn't work. So
I took that same link that you posted, sent it to myself like I did on my email or on my phone, and
yeah.
opened right up. Downloaded just fine and opened right up.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Perry said it might be something to do with his internet or something, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's rather than read it out, but he put that.
Uh-huh.
So he's gonna try again tomorrow or message me. So
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
Well, if the audio starts recording, it's something under 18 hertz that's triggered it. I do need to do. I haven't done any stuff because I've been helping Heidi out, and then obviously now this and I ain't had a chance to do any more work on it. But I did notice every now and then when I cough, that would set off the EVP recorder. Not every time, but sometimes.
Well, if his voice activated, it wouldn't.
Sorry, Joe?
If his voice activated, it would. Any loud noise or something could be considered voice activated.
But I'd set it so that it was only anything under 18 hertz that would set it off.
Well, when I was comparing, when I load it up on the computer, it records absolutely everything.
Yeah, I noticed that.
When I had it going on the phone, it didn't record anything, and I had it going for 2 hours. So,
well, when I'd done the first investigation at the church in White Notley, it did go off and record, but when I played it back, I couldn't actually really hear anything. It's work. I've never tried building one before. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, but to be honest, at 18 hertz, you're probably not built to hear it because you're not a cat or an under 4-year-old.
That's why I say it for 18 hertz.
A cough could very easily contain 18 hertz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Very easily.
When I cough, it hurts
Nice
a lot.
spectrum in there in a cough.
Oh,
it hurts 18 times.
Yeah. Typical to get after an injury to get a bloody cough come on.
Of course.
It's typical. Anyway, brilliant one as always. I'll try my idea. I've just noticed the cat's been going on my windowsill, and the whole windowsill's covered in bloody cat fur. No, I'll try I'll try that with your story. If that don't work, we'll do what we did with the Black Eyed Children.
Yeah.
Right. Fantastic as always, guys.
Yep. Enjoyed that.
And we're over at fortnightly now, aren't we? Obviously, Linda and Ian working their nuts off all the time. So we're over to fortnightly, guys. So mark in your diaries, we're on fortnights.
Yeah.
So we'll come up with a topic. We're still looking for our listeners to come up with topics as well.
Yeah.
So get suggestions in.
And on that, and don't forget, we're also on Spotify. Last month it weren't a huge amount because I'd only put a couple on there, but we got 10 downloads on our Spotify last month.
Nice.
Cool.
So I'm
we got a new listener here, Gary Goodchild, as well. Did you see that?
Sorry?
New commenter, new listener, Gary Goodchild.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that. What on?
I agree. Looks female.
What on YouTube?
On a little bit up on the chat. What, 5, 6, about 10, 12 up?
It's not coming up.
Great.
Just before you asked if the link worked. You asked Perry if the link worked.
Who knows?
So that's excellent.
That's brilliant. I know we've got up to 163 now, I believe it is.
Cool.
So we're getting there.
But yeah, agree, Gary.
I did actually see that comment saying agreed looked like a child, but I'd only seen it out the corner of my eye.
I've never actually clocked who said it.
It didn't register. I apologise for that. I didn't register as a new person. I thought it was Perry commenting.
Check your messenger. Check your messenger.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
I clocked
yeah.
it straight off and I thought, I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah. So technically, I was right.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Don't make me laugh, you bastards.
Sorry.
Oh, right, I'm off to get a coffee. Brilliant as always, guys. Like I said, I'll try and do what I can with that, see if it works. Actually, no, it might be actually better if you do it the same way as Black Eyed Kids.
Yeah.
I did notice when I was sitting there listening, there was like phones or like a computer going off every now and then.
My phone pinging away. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe do it that way. Right. See you in the fortnight.
Yeah.
Okay,
Saturday.
okay.
Bye.
Bye.